So today's video is going to be an in-depth kind of tutorial about cooking, baking, whatever you want to call it, your makeup. This has been my preferred technique for a while now. You guys have seen it in plenty of my tutorials and you've had questions about it. And then in my last video, I asked you guys if you would like to see a video on cooking and baking, and you said hells yeah, so let's do it. If you're interested in cooking or baking your makeup, there are a few things that you need to know before you take this step. Or if you have been cooking and baking your makeup for a while and you're running into problems, there's a few things to keep in mind when doing this process. Number one is everything boils down to your skin or your skincare. I cannot tell you, I literally could not tell you how many people that I speak to on a daily, weekly, monthly basis who want me to help them figure out why their foundation isn't performing the way that it should, or why their concealer is always creasing or too dry, or why, you know, powder looks chalky on them. Now, obviously, a good makeup product is just a diamond in the rough, amazing thing, and once you find it and it works for you, it's great. But I will tell you that no matter how much money you spend on makeup and no matter what technique you're using, your skincare is 205,000 million % the bottom line why your makeup either is or is not performing the way that you want it to. So to start off with, my skin I take really good care of. I have oily / combination skin, but I still moisturize it daily, morning and night. And I also use a liquid exfoliant on it at least once a day. So there's really no chance for a dry patch to be on my skin. If you're not exfoliating, I mean, I know that people like to use like kind of those abrasive, like gritty, you know, St. Ives exfoliators. Those are fine. They are kind of a little bit rougher on your skin than they need to be. And I know you can't do it every day, but if you're going to be doing something like that's really heavy with makeup in terms of like powder especially, you need to be exfoliating your skin because it's gonna cling to it and it's just not good time. So please be exfoliating and moisturizing. Every time I get ready to do my makeup, I prep my skin before anything else. So I always go in with a primer. First, it's usually a hydrating primer. As I said before and as I said in my last video, I do mix my primers together, but there will always be a hydrating one going on at some point to make sure my skin is prepped and ready for the rest of what's going to go into it. And then I also always use some sort of an eye cream as well. I've been using an eye cream or some sort of eye treatment on my eyes before I start my makeup for years. I literally, 10 years I think. I've always done it. And I do think that's a big part of why it works on me, is because my eye area right here is hydrated all the time. I do not suffer with particularly bad under eye wrinkles right now. I think I have like one on each eye right here. That's another thing to keep in mind. When it comes to doing this technique, your skin texture is everything, almost more than skin type. So let's talk really quickly about the people that it will work for and the people that it probably will not work for. It will work for people who, like I said, take care of their skin, hydrating, exfoliating, moisturizing. That's number one most important thing. Also works really well in people who are oily or oily to combination skin. One of the main benefits behind baking your makeup is that it locks it and loads it for hours. So people who have oily skin and experience problems with their makeup breaking up or moving throughout the day, baking is really going to help make sure that doesn't happen to you. That's the main reason I love it as much as I do. My makeup will look like this. If I go to sleep right now, it's gonna look like this tomorrow when I wake up. Obviously, I don't wear my makeup like this all day or day, but when I do take this time to do it like this, I like to know that it's gonna last, especially because most people do their makeup this, I don't know, extra when they have an event or if they're doing photography or something like that. So it's a really, really good technique for special events, nights on the town, photography, whatever you want to call it. It's great for that. Now let's talk really quickly about people that it's not so good for. I do not think, and this is my personal preference when it comes to my clients and things of that nature, I can't imagine a scenario where I could have a client sit in my chair and tell me that they are dry and even remotely consider, entertain the idea of baking their makeup. They don't need it. You don't need it. You're probably not experiencing the same problems. The powder is just too much for that kind of skin. Even normal skin, I would kind of maybe just selectively bake the makeup, like maybe just to clean up the contour. I still don't think I would need to put it everywhere. There's no sense in following makeup trends just because they exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it works for you, if it's something that is geared towards your particular taste or your particular, I don't know, skin woes or makeup concerns, by all means, give it a whirl. But if it's just not a good idea for you, don't do it just because everyone on Instagram and YouTube is doing it. Like, find something else. You guys, like, that's the #1 thing I will say. People who don't need to do this technique are people who don't need to do this technique. Like, You don't need it, don't do it. People that I do not think are absolutely ideal for this technique are people who have really, really textured skin. I would say like a little bit more on the mature side, especially if you have underneath the eyes loss of firmness or kind of loss of plumpness in this area, because it will just cling and it'll look cakey and it'll do way more harm than good. Mature skin in general, I mean, within reason, I think I would just keep away altogether. And that's not to say there's not a million other things that you guys can do to get a highlighted, long-lasting makeup effect. I just wouldn't do this one, but this is just my opinion. You guys can do whatever you want with it. The pros and cons. Let's talk about the pros and the cons. Pros to baking. Number one, like I said before, it locks your makeup in forever. Like, it's going nowhere. Hot summer day, it doesn't matter. It's staying on your face. Number two, it's amazing in photography. It makes you look naturally photoshopped. It's really cool. I think I love that about it. Three, it highlights you a little more. What I mean by that is the areas that you bake, not only does it set that, but it lightens it a little bit. And to me, and this is just my personal preference, I have been using contour kits either in my professional makeup kit or on myself for as long as they've come out. And they have their merits and they work really well for certain people in certain situations. But like when you get a contour kit, they just come with these like standard shades. Typically on the highlight side of things, you have like a beige white color, then you have like a yellow color, then you might have a little bit of a peach color. This is intended to be used for fair, medium, and tan skin tones. To me, unless you are just the perfect shade, I don't think those colors look natural. I just don't like them. I do, however, think the color of your concealer and the color of your foundation represents the actual color of skin, because that's what it's supposed to do. So like yellow, like I don't care. I'm sorry. Some people are gonna like get in the comments and like rip me apart for this, but I'm sorry. None of you guys are banana yellow. No one is. Nobody is banana yellow. I understand everyone's into yellow powder, but I don't know. I personally just don't like the look of it. Some people do it amazingly well, but it's not for everyone. Just like I said before, not everything on YouTube and Instagram is for everyone. And that's why I love baking, because using something like a translucent powder on top of a concealer that is my color, this is this color of skin, this is the color of my skin, with this on top of it, to me, like this looks like an actual skin color. If I would have used like a yellow or a beigey white color, it would just look harsh. I hope my thoughts are somewhat coming together, but that's another reason I really like it. I think, ironically, it looks a little more natural than like a typical highlight powder that you would find maybe in a contour kit or something. I have not tried all the contour kit colors, so give me a break, but that's just my opinion. Con number one, I don't know. People tend to think baking is only for drag queens. Like, that's fine. Like, that's where it kind of started. That's kind of the roots of a lot of our makeup techniques that we do they come from the queens, and that's fine. They also do a much more exaggerated form of it than I'm doing, and that I'm going to implore you to do, unless you are a drag queen, in which, get it. But they do it for the stage. They do it for, you know, people in the back to see their makeup. That's not something you as like a normal person going out to dinner with your husband needs to worry about. So you just kind of have to taper it. A lot of people give a lot of crap about it. Baking is too much makeup. So there's a little bit of a stigma with it. If you care, I don't care. I've just had a lot of people try to tell me like, I can't believe you do all that to your face. Like, it's not that much. Calm down. Like, just some people think it's just too extra. I don't. But if you care, that's something to keep in mind. Another disadvantage of it is if you're not taking care of your skin, very drying, very crepey, very patchy. It can be kind of rough pumpkins. Another disadvantage of it is if you're the kind of person who is trying to like go for that whole glowy skin thing, this is a very matte look at the end of the day. I mean, I can go in with setting sprays and highlighting powders to bring back that luminosity and the glow, but off the rip, your skin is pretty matte. Doesn't bother me. I actually love matte stuff way more than I like shimmer, so doesn't bother me one bit, but that is something else to keep in mind. Other than that, there are no cons as far as I'm concerned. I love it. It's my favorite. So quickly just walking you through the steps of how I do it. First, I always prep and moisturize my skin, as I mentioned before. Go with your foundation. Bear in mind that one, I would do it with a beauty blender. I mean, a lot of people have personal preferences, but for me, beauty blenders work because of extra moisture and because it absorbs like an extra 40-45% of your product. You don't have to worry about getting too cakey too soon. It's gonna give you a nice, even, thin layer of coverage, and you don't wanna go in with too much. At any point in this process, do you not wanna go in with too much, because you're layering layering so much stuff, you just want to take it a step at a time. So after foundation, I'll typically go in with my concealer. I usually use Pro Longwear, but lately I have been mixing my Pro Longwear NW25 with this Masterclass Conceal from Maybelline in the light shade. I like the consistency of these two together. It's creamy, hydrating, pigmented, non-drying, non-creasing. It's a really nice mix. But I always put it chin, nose, forehead, Cupid's bow, under eye area. And when I do my nose, I literally draw like the thinnest line of concealer possibly right down the center of it, and then I'll bake that because that's like reverse contouring to me as far as it goes. I always contour my nose. It's not because I don't like it, it's because like the center of my face, in my case, I feel like is bigger. Like some people have a lot more face out here, but mine's like all in the center. So if the center of my face is just blank and not structured as opposed to out here, I don't know, I think it looks weird. Could be just me, but that's my opinion. So typically what I'll do is after my concealer's there and I blended it out and it's nice and soft, I will take a little bit of the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder on a brush, a fluffy powder brush, and just tap it all over the areas that I've already set, because that little thin barrier of powder I start off with, I think it helps it from getting too creasy. I think it helps it from getting too gunky. That's just what works for me. When it comes to actually baking your powder, you can use a brush, you can use those little cosmetic wedges, you can use a damp beauty blender, you can use a dry beauty blender. I like a dry beauty blender on most areas of my face because I just like the shape of it. It fits really easily where I need it to go, and I have a crap ton of them. As far as the brush part of it goes, I really only use the brush to set the underside of my contour. That's just the easiest place for me to line it up, but you can use whatever you want. As far as the amount of powder I use itself, I only put the most amount of powder in the areas that I want to be the absolute brightest. So even when I do my under eye area, most of the powder in terms of like the opacity of it is gonna be right here, and then it's gonna get thinner as it goes out here because I don't need this, my temple, to be like super highlighted. I just don't. Same thing with like my chin, very similar, has a little bit more powder. The very center bridge of my nose, I put a good bit there, and I actually almost like leave that to be removed at the very last because I really just want that really thin highlight down the length of my nose because that makes it look thinner and I don't have to go in with a lot of crazy bronzer and crap along the side of my nose later. Anyway, same thing with forehead. Most of the pigment of it's going to be right here and it's going to get a little bit thinner outwards. That's a tip. You can actually put as much as you want. It doesn't matter, but the biggest thing is you have to make sure you take it off correctly. So typically what I do is while my cooking powder is cooking, I will immediately go in with a little bit of loose powder and just like a powder brush and just kind of lightly set the other areas of my face, because I am going to go in with bronzer later or other powder things like blush and highlight, and if it doesn't have a matte texture to blend into, it can get choppy and it won't blend as well. Does that make sense? That makes sense. And after I've set it lightly with powder, I will go in and bronze and contour. You can use whatever you want for this, but obviously you don't want to take the bronzer or the contour anywhere that your cooking powder is. I just kind of use that cooking highlighted area as a guide of what to kind of work around. I find that doing it this way, I have to use far less bronzer and contour because, like I said, this technique is like reverse contouring, and I think it looks a lot more natural than doing it with a lot of dark colors on the face. That's just the way that I feel. The last thing I will do is take a little bit of the powder and lightly set it underneath the underside of the contour that I laid down, and then I will start to wipe everything else away. The trick here is to really go in there and like wipe it away. Don't just give it like one little pass and call it a day. Get in there, man. Like, you don't want to leave any on the skin if you can possibly avoid it. So then typically what I do while my underside of my contour is cooking, like this part right here, I'll move on and do my lash line. That's just the order I do stuff in. Obviously you can do this however you want. And then after I'm done with my lash line, I will wipe away that contour, blush, highlight, and then throw in a little bit of Fix Plus, and I'm good to go. Like, I'm sure that this process sounds a lot lengthier and much more time consuming than it is, but for me, it doesn't take very long at all to do it, and the benefits of it greatly outweigh any extra steps that I have to include in this routine to get the finished result that I end up with. So yeah, I don't know, there's really not much to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave any questions, comments, whatever you got for me down below, and thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet. Other than that, I love you more than you will ever know, and I will catch you in the next one. Also, if you guys like this makeup look, I literally just threw it on to have something to put on my face when I went to film. If you guys want to see a full tutorial, please let your girl know. Anyway, I will catch you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 2015 beauty favorites that I definitely did not intend on filming, but you guys requested it, so I am here doing it for you.